You have woken up in the morning and looked in your closet or on your floor and thought, I have nothing to wear. Have you ever been picked on for something you're wearing? Have you ever felt threatened? None of these feelings are anything that we'd wish upon anybody, but unfortunately, they are happening in schools. Having a school uniform greatly helps with all these and other problems. Being a mother myself, I've taken an interest in following and exploring these issues. Stay informed about decisions that may affect me directly as a mother when these students are to wear them or not. I'm not here to tell you that every school should have uniforms, and that's just the way it should be. Instead, I would like to discuss how using uniforms in schools can make a better, more focused learning environment for students varying in all ages and social groups. It has been debated for years whether school uniforms benefit school by lowering crime and violence and bringing academics up, or impeding schools by limiting self-expression and hurting what might already be a tight budget for families. Let's take a look at why school uniforms may be helpful to implement in our schools. Collins Dictionary defines school uniforms as a uniform that in some schools it is compulsory for school children to wear. School uniforms may come with several benefits if implemented in school systems around the U.S. By having the students required to wear uniforms, there is a less chance someone will be bullied because it helps reduce the number of cliques and groups formed by wearing certain clothing. It helps to give a chance for people to judge by personality rather than by their clothes. It also helps to integrate the students so that they will reach out to get to know others rather than the other students who dress like them. Saunders from Education Spotlight speaks that his instincts tell him that students behave better when they're dressed alike, that they fight less and focus on their schoolwork more. Plus, the uniform puts all students on a more equal level, regardless of whether they come from comfortable middle-class households or one of the group foster care homes. School uniforms also have the potential to bring more discipline into the school and an increase in academics as it becomes easier for students to concentrate on their work. When school uniforms are not mandatory, students will fall in the latest fashion, and this could be a distraction from learning. Parents may also worry about the time the child spends preparing her outfit for the next day, time saved if there was a uniform. Uniforms would provide emotional safety to all students. Emotional safety is pivotal to learning in the schools. If students are too worried about what they are going to wear the next day in school, when they aren't spending the time they should be doing on homework. According to Procon.org, U.S. schools with a minority student population of 50% or more are 4 times as likely to require uniforms than schools with a minority population of 20 to 49%, and 24 times more likely than schools with minority population of 5 to 19%. And demeanor increased by 98%, tardies and truancy went down. Overall, uniforms have the potential to bring up school punctuality, but many would argue that uniforms could do more harm to school systems than good, especially within the price ranges. In a constantly changing educational system, we often hear about non-uniform schools looking to transition to a more structured dress code, said John Mayer, Senior Vice President, Lands and Outfitters. I know most complaints about wearing school uniforms is that students cannot express their individuality, but the students have many ways to express their individuality rather than wearing certain types of clothing. Students can impress their individuality by many of the subjects offered at schools, such as music, dance, art, drama, and writing. My response to someone saying that school uniforms prevent the students from self-expression is that most students are trying to fit in with their peers rather than find themselves. Also, school uniforms do not have to be expensive. Schools can implement a system that allows them to be purchased at a lower price or receive them based on needs or income in the same way students get discounted school lunch. School may also wish to implement a semi-casual dress code, such as solid color t-shirts and jeans rather than suit jackets and dress pants. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, nearly 20% of all public schools have adopted uniform mandates. Approximately 22% of elementary schools, 19% of all middle schools, and 10% of all high schools currently require uniforms, and this trend continues to accelerate. Whatever side you may stand on this debate, I hope that I have given you a new look at the issue of mandatory school uniforms in the U.S.